Hey, just me. This ain't a cross-stitch update or anything, as denoted by the title of the video. This is actually me testing out a new device I got. It was released internationally last week, but UK and Europe did not get it till today. I'm going to try and give a disabled person's kind of comparison, review, introduction thing to this device, for the simple reason there are plenty videos on YouTube, or at least a good several videos, of people actually showing off this device, and they've even had in their comments, blind, partially sighted, whatever people saying, thank you for introducing us to this item. However, just saying on the front, on the back, at the top, whatever, isn't exactly useful. Because sometimes it's sort of device, it's this button here, or this button up here, or this bit here, this bit here. You know, they don't necessarily say how to find the respective buttons, because it's a flat device. And, you know, it's to partially sighted or blind people. Top button, bottom button, could be anything. So, I'm going to try my best and describe how to use it, and kind of test it, but I have to be careful because I've got cups near me. I don't want to risk breaking them. Because I'm going to try and demonstrate how to do it sitting down. I can't do it standing up unless I move the laptop back on top of the chair. With this thing. This is what I use out and about, so I bought the device for obvious reasons. Yeah, useful for out and about, because one thing a lot of people say in those videos is, oh, the bright lights are annoying, the vibration's annoying, if only you could turn them off. And again, blind people and whatnot have all said, yes, we understand it is very annoying for people, but for us, it is very useful. You know, if they had a way to adjust the brightness of the light, or just the intensity of the vibration, fair enough. And in fact, I agree with plenty of people that say that. Like, for example, the Game Boy Color Pokemon game, Pokemon Pinball, if you put a AAA battery into the cartridge, because it has a battery slot, you get to use the rumble feature, and you have 4 settings. You got strong, medium, weak, off. And if anything, I think these out and about catch your Pokemon, this, that and the other thing type devices would benefit from having those options. Because, you know, people would normally put these sort of devices in their pockets or what have you because of how they function. So just constantly having them going off as if you got your phone on vibrate only. You know, it's probably annoying to a lot of people. So, I'm going to give my... And I know I keep looking around, it's just the way my eyes work. I'm sorry. I notice that when it comes to editing, I'm staring everywhere but forward. But I'm going to try and do a comparison-esque video, descriptive-wise, because I want to do this from a disabled person's perspective, not just a case of, oh, this new device has come out, here's what it does. So, fingers crossed, this ain't too bad. It's kind of helpful. If anyone's wanting this, they want a bit more help in terms of descriptions, please let me know in the comments, and I will do my best. Anyway, the first of the devices people got is in a small blue box that I am holding in my hand. It's known as the Pokemon Go Plus, and it's for use with an augmented reality Pokemon game for all ages. At the moment, a lot of the users of the game are really frustrated with it, and understandably so, especially considering the company that made it, you know, decided to work on that game, adding in this, that, and the other features. They took out various features. They started various new projects and that. And then, like, a few days later, laid off 230 staff members, give or take. Yeah, good business model there. So, the first device is known as the Pokemon Go Plus. This is commonly used by people that use said app. It is... I'll try and hold it forward for those that can see it. It's a bit like it's round at the top, pointed at the bottom. It's basically like a rounded arrow. And if you feel on one side there's a button in the middle, this one ain't got a working battery, so I can't show it off. But the button would flash different colours to indicate different things. Like if a Pokemon shows up nearby, it would flash green. And they're not exactly subtle, even these aren't. If it's a new one you haven't got, it flashes yellow. I only learnt that previously, like the other day. I thought that meant harder to catch. And then you press the button, and it has an attempt to see if it can get the Pokemon for you. Just like if you were playing the mainline games and you select to throw a ball. If it then goes to rainbow coloured, you catch it. If it's red, you fail. And it does give off vibrations, and the type of vibrations you get, is dependent on what happens. So you get like a kind of buzzy type vibration when it spots a Pokemon or detects something. And then you press the button, and then it's almost like if you listen, like you get like a tick, tick, tick type pulse on your wrist. You can kind of count it, and that's each attempt. Like as if you're playing the main games, you get the ball shake thing. It represents that, and then you get like a sort of long, thin pulse kind of vibration, which indicates you've succeeded, or quick double short burst meaning you failed. It can also turn blue, and that indicates like little stops that are places you get items and stuff like that, along with gems, which are places you battle, also get items and things. Again, just like the main game. Stops are basically the equivalent of if you're walking around the main game, hey look, random item on the ground. That's literally kind of the equivalent. I can't think of any other way to put it. But yeah, it would flash blue for that. And then it would actually, you press it, and then it immediately go to the rainbow colour flash with its respective pulsing. Now, two ways you can have this Go Plus on you is normally it would have a clip on the back, like I don't know what to say, not so much a badge. It's just a clip that you'd like attach to your belt or like whatever. You just want to clip on maybe your jeans or something. The other option is a wrist strap. It's nice and fabric. It's a lot like having it's literally like a fabric watch strap. It can be adjusted for your wrist type. There's a wee plastic clip that you can flip up, then adjust it. You flip back down and stuff like that. And then you can put it on your wrist like a watch. If the battery dies, you have to take off the back. Doesn't matter if it's the one with the wrist strap or the one with the clip. And you undo the small screw at the bottom, like the point at the end of the device, which is the bottom of the device. Yeah, the back's the bit that don't have a button. And then you take that off, change the battery. It's one of those flat C ones that standardly get in a lot of devices. Replace the back, put the screw back in. There you go. It should work. I say that because even after replacing the battery, mine doesn't. So there's that. I can't remember. Oh, I know why there's a longer bag here. That's because when you get the device, it comes with a clip strap attached, and the bag has the other one. So that's that device. Try and put it back in its bag. And then the extra bag is, I always have the watch strap on it as opposed to the clips. So, and find this box. And sorry if things don't show up on camera properly. It's, again, just how I hold things, hence why when it comes to me doing things like my cross-stitch updates and that, I'm forever having to re-record them because of the positionings. The second option is the Pokeball Plus. This you could either buy individually, or you would get it with Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee as a bundle pack, or the respective special edition Switch combos, the Pikachu one, the Eevee one, of which I got the latter. That's how I got my Nintendo Switch. It is a standard ball, kind of feels like a small stress ball, but it's solid. Especially considering it has accelerometer in it and stuff like that. Like you feel around the back, there's a strap on it that you can put over your wrist. On the strap there's like a ring that you thread your finger through, and that helps hold it in place. I usually wear it on my left hand, near my watch, make sure I got the right way around, because just like the Go Plus strap, or Go Plus strap, sorry, there's a button. Well, in this case it's a button, it's not like a flip open resize bit, and then you push it towards your wrist. Try not to do it too tight, obviously. And with your fingers, you just guide the ring up to a comfortable position. You can fit it over your ring finger. Sometimes it's recommended your middle one, but for a ring finger, it's more freedom. And then the Pokeball dangles like a pendulum. So be careful. And don't do me on occasion where you smack yourself in the face with it. But that's the safest way of doing it. I have it on my left hand when I'm out and about, because I hold my white cane with my right. And but standardly, also, like, this is also a game controller. Hence why being you can get it bundled with the Let's Go Pokemon games and their respective Switch bundles. So when you're holding onto the ball, like, you got one side, which is the bottom, that's just flat, just smooth. But on the other side, there is actually a button you can press in. And that's because in game that acts as your B button and stuff like that, like your cancel button. On the back, as I said, you got that strap and everything. Underneath the strap, it's like a rough texture, but there's a cover for a USB-C adapter. You plug in one end, and then the other end goes in the cable end, and then the other end goes in your plug socket. Or a USB socket, depending if you're just using a standard USB cable. Or USB-C cable, get it right. But on the front side, there is a little control stick that you can move around. You can also press it in because it acts as your A button, your confirmation. But standardly in game, it's a control stick. Because, some games allow you to use it as such. And as I said, I wear it on my wrist. When you're playing the Let's Go games, or even Generation 8 Pokemon games, you can transfer a Pokemon into this, so literally as if you're within the games carrying your Pokeballs around. And as you're walking around, calculating your steps, the Pokemon inside will sort of make a sound, and to respond to it, you click. Oops. You click the front button, and that gives you your response to it. Now, these devices, these Pokeballs, and if you see the lights, well, when the Pokemon cries out, you don't see a light, but if you quickly press the button, it flashes rainbow around the little light bits that are just behind the control stick. And the Pokemon cries out again differently to register the fact you've responded to the call. So, and it does make a vibration when the Pokemon calls out. It'll do so up to 3 attempts, and then you've failed your attempt and you don't get any bonuses for it. And when you press the button to respond, it vibrates again as an acknowledgement. Now, for its secondary function, it's the exact same as a Go Plus. You can use it with Pokemon Go. And it literally works in the exact same way. Pretty much. Like, you connect it to your game, into the app. Whenever you have a Pokemon encounter or a Pokestop, you press the nice pressy in top button. And that's literally it. The button atop the Pokeball acts just like the button on the front of the Pokemon Go Plus. So, it does have double features. I don't often connect it to Pokemon Go unless I really need to build up items in that game. You know, I'm not on a big set or anything, so it's not like every 5 seconds I get new items like some people can. You know, when you're more suburbs, or like in my case, coastal, or if you're regional, or rural and stuff like that, it's not as easy to stock up your items for playing that game. So, using something like this is very useful, because I rarely have the whole catch Pokemon turned on for it. I just have the stops for the items. Also, if you have a Pokemon inside these things, when you put the Pokemon back into your Switch game, it will say that your Pokemon helped out in Pokemon Go. So, like, I like to always imagine whenever it registers, there's a stop been spun or anything like that, or Pokemon been caught, it's like my Pokemon's doing all the work, so they're like running over to the stop to spin it around, or they're the ones throwing the balls at the Pokemon. Because when you play Pokemon Go, the Pokemon can actually do that. Like, the Pokemon try and bounce out, and then you see your Pokemon just knock the ball back at them. And the amount of times I've actually had my Pokemon catch more than I do, it's kind of embarrassing. You know, since I first started playing Pokemon Go in December 2018, I had one of the Pokemon in the game follow me around, and she literally had 3 misses, and all the time she was able to toss the balls back. And when I actually counted up checked the catches of what she got compared to what I got in since 2018, and her amount she caught was near on double what I got since first playing Pokemon Go. So, yeah. That gives it some. I don't play it that often, but still. I unfortunately don't have that Pokemon anymore. I transferred it over to the main games, put her in this Pokeball, and forgot to transfer her back before scrapping the save file, and therefore I lost her. Anyway, last but not least, today's arrival, the Pokemon Go Plus. So original. Ever since it was first announced in 2019, everyone made fun of the name, including myself. So, let's try and open this without wrecking the box. Please, let me open it without wrecking the box. I don't know if there's any thing I might need to cut on it, because sometimes you got a seal. But no, it doesn't look like it doesn't want to open. I remember watching on YouTube videos, there's actually a big brown box inside this, and that's what can get caught on. Oh, got it. So, I open this up. It's a big rectangular box. The way you open up is at the top. It's a bit awkward, but you just keep pulling the top bit towards you, and eventually it opens. Inside, there's a brown box. In the middle of the top bit, you can put your finger in. I'm assuming that's so you can pull it out. And you got like a top. Right up the top, you have another, just below that, but there's another finger hole, as I like to call it. You can use that to pull out, And underneath it, there are two cables. One is a yellow wrist strap with an accompanying peg-like clip. The wrist strap you thread through the device like you would like the Pokeball comes. And for anyone that's ever played Heart Gold Soul Silver, you may recognise the wee devices, you can thread things through them. The clip is magnetic, so you can basically clip that to something else, it'll hold onto your device. That is mostly for another app called Pokemon Sleep, which I've had downloaded for a few days now, but I refuse to try it until tonight, because I finally have this device. I'm not putting my phone on my bed while it's charging. I'm likely to, forget any sort of potential fire risk. I'm likely to knock that thing across the room because I fidget in my sleep. There's another cable underneath where that clip was, and that is your USB charging cable. I'm not taking that out of his pouch because I got plenty of those. So I'm going to try and put this back in again. Is that going now? I don't know how this went. I think that went with that. Oh good, I don't remember how this closed. I'll hold it open for a second. When running your hand, be there where those cables are, there's another box. We'll type in an insert, and within that, it's got like tape around it, I think, so you don't open things up. Oops, everything's falling out of the box. There's instructions behind everything. And there's a plastic bit around the middle of this, and that's for the simple reason is to hold in place the Pokemon Go Plus. It's a nice flat device. Some people like to compare it to hockey pucks, and then they realised, nah, it's a bit smaller. One side is flat, that's got all your copyright information. The other side has a nice big clicky button in it, which is flashing right now because I pressed it. When running your hand around the device, there's one end has a button that's needed for connecting this to Pokemon Go and Pokemon Sleep, but mostly the former. And when running your hand to the other side of the device, there's a USB-C port for charging. I don't know if there's... No, I thought there might have been a headphone jack, because it looked like that, but no, I think that's a reset button or screws to hold the device together. There's also speakers near where the charging port is. I believe that's a speaker. But yeah, it's a nice clicky device for the button. It's flashing colours. Try and hold it properly. That should stop soon. Right, so let's take this cable out. I'm not going to use the clip right now. So this is everyone's favourite. Let's thread the cable through. Find where the back bit is. Try and do this while constantly pressing the button. This reminds me of all the times I tried threading things through the Pokewalkers for Heart Gold Soul Silver. Even though I didn't play those games so much because I found them boring. In fact, I used the device more than I played the games, and that kind of says something. I know that they're beloved by many people, but I'm afraid I was not one of them. Right, now I've got to try and thread this through here. Thread this from the back. Soon be time to help sort Mum out for the night, so I'll have to be quick with this. I was having issues with my webcam. It turned out the shutter was closed, but thanks to the internet I learned how to... Yeah. Just like my Pokeball Plus, there is a... It doesn't seem resizable, but as you run your fingers up, there's like a round, sort of blocky bit, shall we say. One side is the button, and then there's a indentation side, and that is where your clip attaches to because it's magnetic. But be careful. People on YouTube were saying it's a rather weak magnet, so be careful if you knock it. But the wrist strap can go over your wrist. I got it on my right one for a minute. It'll obviously have to be the other side because of my white stick. And that way you can hold on to it. Again, make sure, you can tell if you got it front or back because of the button. Button's on the front, so it should always face up. Take the back off again. And then you load up the respective app. And this I can't fully describe properly because Sleep I've not tried out yet. And sorry for the itchy nose. Pokemon Go, it's hard to describe the screen layouts because they keep changing how the menus look, but descriptive wise it's hard to do instructions. Hopefully there'll be videos on YouTube that will help with that. Yeah, I just wanted to show off the device anyway. That was the main thing, because I'm going to use it with Sleep. I may or may not use these with Pokemon Go. I may continue to use my Pokeball, but if I decide to have both with me, obviously I'll use the new one. I'm going to keep the wrist strap on it because that was a pain in the butt. I'll get the clip for the pillow out after. Actually, I'll do that now, just so I can show it off. It is literally a peg. It's a yellow peg. One side is flat, the other side's got a nice indentation, a little bit that you'd normally slot something in, and that's because it matches, as I said, the wee blocky bit halfway up your cable. You attach that to it, and the two are stuck together due to the magnet. And if you got to use this to track your sleep, because primarily it's actually a sleep monitor, you put the clip side of the peg, you attach it to your pillowcase, and have the device resting next to you on your bed. Some people apparently put it under their pillow, as long as it wasn't under the head or that, and it will still track their sleep. So, and like the device itself has different colours for this, that and the other thing, but I'll explain them in the next video when I can give practical explanations on how it works in terms of app compatibility. So for now, sorry that wasn't too great an instruction video. That was hopefully an instruction video. So I'm going to sign off because it's getting late here. I've got a bit of a groggy throat from talking. I want to finish my drinks, and I'm rarely staring at the camera, so again, apologies for looking everywhere but. Good night, everyone.